Hey there, it's Greg, and welcome back to Shifting Lanes. Today we're talking about an extremely controversial, but also extremely awesome new vehicle, the GMC Hummer EV. In this video, we'll be going over everything you need to know about this new EV SUV behemoth before you research it, compare it to other SUVs, or even buy it. And even if you're not in the market for one, stick around and watch all the way to the end, because the information I found when researching for this video is pretty bonkers, because this thing is insane in the best way possible. Since the Hummer EV is a brand new vehicle from GMC, we'll be going over everything you need to know about it. Things like engine type and power output, key features and tech, and what it will mean to the GMC brand as a whole. And if you're here for the new Hummer EV, consider watching our other content as well. We make tons of videos at Shifting Lanes on topics such as new car reviews, other what to know videos, consumer advice recommendations, and automotive news. If you'd like to see any of those, check the description below for playlists of everything we do, or click the card above for a hand-picked video for you. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up at the end if you enjoyed it or found it informative. Now, let's get into all of the details on the brand new 2022 GMC EV Hummer. The original Hummer was an engineering marvel from the military. Built to go anywhere and do anything, the H1 Hummer was about as close to an all-terrain vehicle as you could get for the general public when it went on sale. The H1 was a phenomenon, but now it's a classic vehicle with a cult following. The H2 and H3 were versions of the H1, but smaller and never really caught on with the same enthusiast following, since those were more geared to a general consumer base. But there's no denying the fact that the H1 was and still is a legendary vehicle in the automotive world. Now we have the nameplate being brought back by General Motors under the GMC brand, and it's going to be an EV, which is a drastic departure from what the original Hummer was. Usually in these what to know videos on a brand new car, truck, or SUV, I'd give a bit of a historical overview from inception to now. But given that this is a brand new vehicle, we're going to talk about everything you need to know about this thing, and there is a lot of cool stuff to cover. First, let's talk about the most controversial aspect of the new Hummer, the engine, or lack thereof. Before we get started on that, we have to mention that there is not just an SUV that will be coming out. The Hummer EV will be an SUV and a pickup truck with a bunch of different variants. As of this video, here's what GMC plans to roll out on all of these trims and what kind of drivetrains will be behind them. Let's start with the pickup truck. In fall of 2022, we will get the first Hummer installment and also the most potent. They're calling it the EV3X pickup truck, which will start at $99,995. Propelling this behemoth forward will be a 3-motor drive system and something called Watts to Freedom, which is a package that will give owners the opportunity to go from 0 to 60 in the low 3-second range, which is absolutely bananas to think about on a vehicle this size. The Edition 1 version of the EV3X truck will have a 24-module battery pack, achieving a claimed 350+ mile range, which is truly impressive for a vehicle of this size. Following that will be the Hummer EV2X pickup truck, starting at $89,995. This version will give you adaptive suspension, extract mode, and 4-wheel steer with crab walk, which is exactly what you think it is, i.e. driving diagonally for those not picking up what GMC is putting down. I'll also get to this point a little bit later in the video to describe it a bit more in depth. Expect the EV2X to be on sale in spring of 2023. Lastly, for the truck, we'll get the EV2, which will introduce the lowest available 2-motor system for around $79,995, and expect this version to become available in spring of 2024. Next, let's talk about the SUV, which is arguably the cooler looking of the two versions. The Hummer EV SUV Edition 1 with the Extreme Off-Roading package will start at $110,595. Here, consumers will get up to 830 horsepower from the 3 electric motors. Range is estimated to be around 280 miles on a single charge, while not in any performance modes. You can also get the Edition 1 without the off-roading package for $5,000 less. This gives you the same up to 830 horsepower and 3 motors, but range will be slightly increased with an estimated 300 miles. These will hit GMC showrooms in early 2023. After that, we'll see the Hummer EV3X SUV for $99,995. Similar to the pickup versions, this will get up to 830 horsepower with the same 3 electric motors and an approximate range of over 300 miles. Sales will be beginning in spring of 2023. The EV2X SUV will also go on sale in early 2023 2023 for $89,995 with up to 625 horsepower and 2 motors and a range of over 300 miles. Lastly, we'll get the most basic Hummer SUV, the EV2, in spring of 2024 for just shy of 80 grand. This most budget-friendly version will give up to 625 horsepower with 2 motors. It'll also have 400-volt DC fast charging and an estimated range of over 250 miles. The EV2 going on sale in spring of 2024 means that we'll be getting over 2 years of Hummer EV rollouts. Now, you may be thinking that is a long time to roll anything out, especially a new vehicle on a new platform. And while that may be true, it will also keep the vehicle and all of its trims fresh in the market, with journals and media talking about it for an extended period of time, which is a pretty smart idea from GMC here. Now, as you've just heard, we've already gone over some key stats on the Hummer EV. Things like power, which is 625 to a maximum of 1,000 horsepower, pricing, which is around 80 grand to just over 110 grand, and drivetrains, 2 or 3 electric motors. But let's dive into the specifications and features of it a bit more, because there is some seriously cool tech and things that will be available on both of these vehicles. The truck will dimensionally be very similar to the old Hummer, with a 135.6-inch wheelbase, making it larger in that respect to the GMC Yukon XL. The SUV, however, will be approximately 9 inches shorter. The Hummer EV will get 22-inch wheels with 35-inch tires as standard. The Extreme Off-Road package pairs a smaller 18-inch wheel with the same 35-inch tires, but they will be Goodyear Wrangler Territory MT tires for serious off-roading. The Hummer EV is actually designed to be able to take up to 37-inch tires for those that want to go aftermarket and get something even more off-road worthy. There will also be a system for tire deflation to increase traction off-road. Drivers can use the inflation assist system to input a target tire pressure. You will then have to manually release this pressure, but the vehicle will give you a sound signal when you reach the pressure number that you put into the system. And on the topic of off-roading, which is obviously the Hummer's go-to flex, the Extreme Off-Road package will come with skid plates and underbody shields to protect everything underneath, like the drivetrain, EV motors, battery packs, and other electronic bits. The Hummer EV will also come with an infinity roof, which will open the top with some combination of transparent, removable panels. The panels can be stored under the hood in the front, also known as a frunk. Since there is no engine here, the Hummer EV can utilize that space for the panels or for extra storage. There will also be a rear power window, and for the truck version, a powered tonneau cover for the bed. Inside, you'll find basically all the modern tech you could humanly ask for. A 12.3-inch digital dash along with a 13.4-inch center infotainment screen will house everything you need to know about the SUV or truck. According to GMC, the customizable functions and graphics were developed with the same visual effects company that has helped make some of the Marvel Universe movies. GMC also says there will be over 200 accessories for the Hummer EV, along with virtual auxiliary switches for controlling accessories and features like a winch or bar lights. Two other cool pieces of tech worth mentioning are the aforementioned crab walk as well as the extract mode. Crab walk is achieved with the 4-wheel steering system. In auto mode, the rear wheels will turn in the opposite direction of the fronts to aid with low speed maneuverability. You may have heard this being called 4-wheel steering on models of other brands, and it really isn't a new technology. What is new, however, is the fact that the Hummer EV will be able to turn all 4 wheels in the same direction to be able to move diagonally, which can be helpful when off-roading tricky sections of a trail or when parking. Extract mode seems to be, on paper, equally handy. When driving normally, the Hummer EV has a scarcely believable 13 inches of suspension compression. What this means is that the Hummer EV can lower on the highway for better aerodynamics or raise an additional 6 inches over its stock height to clear obstacles when off-roading. Obviously, all that ground clearance isn't going to make this vehicle a very nimble one in the corners, but that's not what the Hummer EV is for. Handling won't be good, but you'll be able to handle any trail or off-road scenario you can humanly throw at it. As far as looks go on the Hummer EV truck and SUV, I'm personally a huge fan. It's a subjective measure, sure, but compared to a lot of egg-shaped vehicles out there right now, the Hummer EV stands out nicely. Yes, big SUVs and family-friendly crossovers are taking over the world, but some of them just look the business, and the Hummer EV is no exception here. Muscular, bulging fenders, large wheel arches, and sharp hood lines, along with an interior focused on angles, scream that this is a futuristic, handsome, and tough vehicle. Personally, I think the SUV is a bit better looking than the truck. The EV Hummer no doubt will be GMC's halo car. Based on pricing alone, it should be close to, if not the top of the heap when it fully comes to market. But what a lot of people are missing is what putting the Hummer name under the GMC brand instead of making it a standalone brand or vehicle means. From a marketing standpoint, it's a brilliant choice by GM. You're giving instant EV credibility to a truck brand in GMC that will, along with everything else it seems, go electric in the future. Chevy already has the Bolt and Bolt EUV, and the Silverado was recently announced to be getting an EV variant. GMC just getting an EV version for their truck line sort of seems like a cop-out, but giving GMC a true halo vehicle like the Hummer EV should push the GMC brand way up in the EV hierarchy in both the short and longer terms. Look for GMC to use the hype from the Hummer EV in the next 5 to 10 years to roll out a fully electric lineup and revamp their image as the leader in EV trucks. On a reliability note for the Hummer EV itself, it's tough to predict how this thing will be, honestly. It's a brand new EV platform that was developed in just 18 months. In the automotive world, for internal combustion engines, that's an insanely short time frame because usually these things take 3 to 5 years. The first editions of the Hummer EV may turn out to be riddled with problems, but there's also an equivalent chance that it'll be a smash hit with next to no problems. It's all speculation at this point, but reliability may be suspect given the quick development time of the platform, the vehicle itself, and the fact that EVs on the whole are still in their infancy. Lastly, this truck and SUV combo will be going up directly against the Tesla Cybertruck, Rivian R1T, and the Bollinger B2. There really is an EV truck slash SUV revolution happening, and while the internal combustion engine will eventually go the way of the dinosaur in the coming decades, it's pretty exciting to see an entirely new class of car being born right now. No matter what you think about EVs, the Hummer EV is about as badass as they come, and I personally cannot wait to see it in action. I hope that this video does help you in making your potential buying decision for this top-of-the-line EV, SUV, or truck a bit easier or made you more informed. If you want to follow us outside of YouTube, you can find us at Shifting Lanes on Facebook and Instagram, where we post about the cars we review, our personal cars, and industry news and adventures. Again, my name is Gregson, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you next time.